This is a Best in Climate episode of Earth Feels, where each week your hosts Rose and Christine read to you from some of the best climate-related blogs and articles on the web.
Today's Best in Climate comes to us from Satish Kamir, The Link Between Soil, Soul, and Society, originally published in The Guardian, actually back in September of 2013. But in the way all things seem to be magnified right now, this article really spoke to my soul, and I thought it would speak to yours. We are losing connection with the soil. Satish Kamir wants us to understand the connection between soil, soul, and society, and drop ego in favor of echo. Many historical movements in the world have three key words that express their spirit. During the French Revolution, the words were liberté, égalité, fraternité. In the American Declaration of Independence, they were life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The implication of both phrases is very similar. It is human life, human liberty, human equality, and human happiness. Even the words adopted by the New Age movement, mind, body, spirit, refer to the human mind, the human body, and the human spirit. It's an anthropocentric worldview, the view that human beings are at the center of the universe. This worldview is no longer valid. We are utterly dependent on other species, and we have to take care of them. We are members of one Earth community and need a new trinity that is holistic and inclusive, that embraces the entire planet and all species upon it. So I propose a new trinity of soil, soul, society. Soil represents the entire natural world. Without soil, there is no food, and without food, there is no life. No trees, forests, animals, or people. In our education systems, we have come to think that soil simply means dirt, and that dirt means dirty. But dirt is not dirty. It is the source of life. Without it, there is no life. We are related to and dependent on the soil. If somebody grows food, we think, oh, poor man, peasant, laborer, he is not educated, so he has to grow food. If you are educated and you don't grow food, you manufacture cars, televisions, computers, or work at a bank or office. We sit at our computers and our food comes from elsewhere. The word peasant itself has become a term of an insult. I want to change that. I want to reinstate a respect for soil. We must touch the soil. How many times do we touch our mobile phone every day? Maybe 100 times. How many times do we touch the soil? Hardly ever. We must give dignity to peasants, farmers, and gardeners. We are all part of this healthy web of life maintained by soil. The Latin word humus means soil. The words human, humility, and humus all come from the same root. When humans lose contact with soil, they are no longer humans. Trees, animals, plants, rocks, mountains, rivers, worms, butterflies, honeybees, all have intrinsic value. They have the right to be as they are. We talk about human rights, and that's fine. But nature also has rights. The trees have a right to exist. We have no right to cut them down without proper purpose. When we recognize the rights of nature, then we have understood the meaning of the word soil. The second word in my new trinity is soul. Soul is something we cannot see. The human body we can touch, hug, kiss, and admire. But in order to touch soul, I have to close my eyes. Everything, trees, animals, worms, and humans, has a soul. Soil is the outer landscape, and soul is the inner landscape. We need to take care of the soul as we take care of the soil. But we can only take care of the soul when we slow down. Take time for ourselves. Meditate on the fact that you represent the totality of the universe. There is nothing in the universe that is not in you, and there is nothing in you that is not in the universe. The universe is a macrocosm, and you are the microcosm. You are earth, air, fire, water, imagination, creativity, consciousness, time, and space. You have all this in your soul, in your genes, and in your cells. You are billions of years old. So if you want to take care of the universe, start with your soul. Care of the soul is for self-realization. When you are at home within, you are at home in the universe. Taking care of yourself, being at ease with yourself, being happy within yourself, being fulfilled in yourself is a prerequisite, an imperative for self-realization. Everything you truly need and want is within you. You are capable of solving every problem in the world with your inner wisdom. If you want power, possessions, and clutter, it is because you have lost touch with your soul. Then your soul is hungry or empty. But that emptiness will not be filled by computers, cars, or mobile phones. Slow down and take care of your soul. Without spiritual fulfillment, there is no happiness. Spiritual poverty is the greatest poverty, greater than any physical poverty. And as we take care of the soil, we take care of the soul. When we take care of both, we achieve true well-being. Caring for the soul has nothing to do with individualism or ego. That is why I include the word society in this trinity. We are members of the earth community, and we are also members of the human community. If I think of myself as Indian, then I will see others as Europeans or Africans. If I am a Hindu, then I will see others as Christians or Muslims. But if I see myself as a human being, then I see everyone else as human beings. This way, I can rise above my narrow identity and identify myself instead with all of human society. We need to embrace all of society. We need to solve social problems of poverty and wars with imagination, compassion, creativity, and forgiveness. All problems can be solved by negotiation, friendship, giving in, letting go of ego, and going into echo. Let us make a shift from self-interest to mutual interest of whole human society. If we can have a holistic view of soil, soul, and society, if we can understand the interdependence of all living beings and understand that all living creatures, from trees to worms to humans, depend on each other, then we can live in harmony with ourselves, with other people, and with nature. Satish Kamir is the editor-in-chief of Resurgence and Ecologist. It's a publication I hadn't heard of until this past week. I'll include a link on Earth Feels podcast, episode number 141. Some additional facts about Satish that I found fascinating. I think you will too. He was born in 1936 and is an Indian-British activist. He's been a monk, a nuclear disarmament advocate, and a pacifist. He lives in England now. And he's the founder and the director of programs at the Schumacher College International Center of Ecological Studies, in addition to his work at Resurgence and Ecologist magazine. But his most interesting accomplishment, I think, is together with a companion by the name of E.P. Menon, M-E-N-O-N, he made a peace walk of over 8,000 miles in 1973 to 1974. Starting in New Delhi, they walked to Moscow and then Paris, London, Washington, D.C. to attract attention in the capitals of the world's earliest nuclear-armed countries. They called it a pilgrimage for peace. So they traveled around and they would stay with anyone who offered them food or shelter. But when they were on their way to Moscow, they met two women outside a tea factory. And after explaining what they were doing, one of the women gave them 4 packets of tea, one for each leader of each nuclear power, and asked them to deliver the message: when you think you need to press the button, stop for a minute and have a fresh cup of tea. They eventually delivered the peace tea to the leaders of the 4 countries. He later wrote a book about it called Path Without Destination. Satish Kamir, in his 80s, still affecting peace. So never doubt that one person can influence the world. That person could be you. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time. That's this week's episode of Earth Feels. Special thanks to singer-songwriter Kristen Hoffman for generously allowing us to use Song for the Ocean. Thanks for listening.
Don't forget, subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss an episode. Catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Children of the earth, I'm calling out. There's a mission for you